call this meeting to order. Clerk of the board, kindly call the roll.
Freeholder Carter.
Present.
Freeholder Estrada.
Present.
Freeholder Hudak. Freeholder Jallo. Freeholder Kowalski.
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Present.
Freeholder Wright.
Here.
Vice Chairman Granados.
Here.
And Chairman Bergen.
Here.
Chairman, you have 7 freeholders present.
Mr. Clerk, please note that.
And now you have 8.
Freeholder Jallo.
Present.
Freeholder Jallo.
Thank you. Clerk of the board, kindly please lead us in prayer and salute to the flag.
Humbly we ask God, giver of peace and lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, to grant the light of the Spirit on all who work for justice and peace.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk of the board, please read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
Chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of the New Jersey statutes annotated Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, County of Linden, and given by mailing and on the schedule for the year 2016, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstances, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Linden, or designated to receive such notice, and by posting them on the schedule for the year 2016 in the Administration Building, and further by filing them hanging on the schedule for 2016 at the office of County Clerk.
Thank you. First order of business tonight is a second reading and public hearing on an ordinance for adoption. Clerk of the board, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance number 778, 2016. Ordinance refunding bond ordinance providing for the refunding of $43,940,000 aggregate principal amount of outstanding bonds of the County of Union, State of New Jersey, appropriating a sum not exceeding $44,250,000 to pay the cost thereof, and authorizing the issuance of not exceeding $44,250,000 aggregate principal amount of refunding bonds of said county to finance such appropriation.
Thank you. Before I open up the public, just a real brief explanation. This is essentially like when you refinance the mortgage on your house. We are refinancing existing bonds to get a better interest rate, and we're not extending the payoff on the bonds at all, and we will save in excess of $2 million by doing what we're doing tonight. So that's why we have this ordinance before us. And that being said, I will now open the meeting to the public for comment on this ordinance only. That's ordinance 778-2016. Please state your name and town of residence, and remember the 5-minute time limit. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to make a statement concerning the pending ordinance?
Good evening, Chair Bergen, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson of Garwood. I actually would like to thank you on the refinancing of the bonds, saving the taxpayers $2 million. So I appreciate that. Just one question. I guess the previous bonds were callable. That there were no I guess penalties. I guess you can call them. And also, what was the cost for the professionals that got involved in this refinancing? Thank you.
Thank you. Director Taylor, maybe you could address those issues, please.
Good evening. Through you, Chairman. The total cost for all professionals, including printing, bond counsel, underwriters' fees, is not to exceed $310,000.
And the bonds that are being paid off, no penalty for paying them early, is that
No.
correct?
Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do the refunding, sir.
And those costs are calculated in before the
That is
$2+ million savings.
The net present value savings of $2.1 million is net of any costs associated with the refunding.
Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the public who wish to address the pending ordinance? Seeing no one else, I'll close that portion of the meeting, and I will ask that the Fiscal Committee Chairman, Freeholder Mirabella, please move the pending ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll move ordinance number 778, 2016 for final reading and authorize the clerk of the board to advertise the same in accordance with the law.
Second.
Motion was made by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Kowalski. Clerk of the board, kindly call the roll.
Freeholder Carter.
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada.
Yes.
Freeholder Jallo.
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Aye.
Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados.
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen.
Yes,
Chairman, you have 8 votes in the affirmative.
thank you. Next order of business, we have a presentation to the members of the Freeholder Board from a representative of Challenged Athletes Foundation, Operation Rebound Racing Team, which is led by Sergeant Mike Bowl of the Union Township Police Department. Mike Bowl is here tonight with us. Operation Rebound is the premier sports and fitness program for American military personnel, veterans, and first responders with physical challenges. It provides unparalleled opportunities to pursue active athletic lifestyles by offering access to funding for equipment, training, competition, expenses, and sports clinics. The county is proud to have partnered with Sergeant Bowl and this wonderful organization this year as part of our initiative on behalf of veterans. Thank you for joining us, Sergeant Bowl. The microphone's yours.
Thank you for having me here. Just for everybody that doesn't know what Operation Rebound is, we are a racing team for disabled veterans and first responders. We have been around for about a year now, and first person was Vice Chairman Sergio Granados, and then I was introduced to all the freeholders. Without the freeholders' help, we were unable to do a lot of our events. They help us. We did a ride to Washington D.C. from Mountainside 9/11 Memorial. We went right to Walter Reed straight through. Our freeholders have really stepped up and helped us and helped all our veterans and our first responders do all the amazing things that we can. We had started off with about 10 athletes, now we're up to 400. This has all been going on in a year, and every time I need something, I can take a phone call and I get it. I don't play politics, but this board here has been outstanding. We're very fortunate to have them, and I just want to thank them and everybody who's helped us out for our journey. Thank you very much for having us here today. And I have some more.
We're going to take a picture, so why don't we all?
Is everybody?
Everyone's order. Okay, I'll just hold it. How's that?
Stay right.
A few weeks ago, we had the pleasure of honoring Union County's heroes involved in the apprehension of the bombing suspect, who, as it happens, was made his first court appearance this afternoon. That's why there are all the TV trucks outside. Tonight, we are joined by the person for the final presentation, and when we step up, I'm going to ask Vice Chairman Granados to join me. And tonight, we're going to be giving a resolution to Harry Baines, who's the owner of a deli and a bar in Linden, who was just doing his day-to-day work at his deli, watching out across the street to where his bar was, and he saw something suspicious. And rather than just turn away, he reported it. And that led to the police officers coming in and ending up arresting Mr. Rahami. And by taking that action, Mr. Baines did what we would hope we would all do, and that's do what's best for the public. So we're very honored that he was able to make it here tonight, so we can give him a resolution and honor him for what he did to help our community. I'm not going to read it, because at this point I think everybody knows the story and what a great thing you did for our community. But on behalf of the entire Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders and the entire county of Union, and for that matter, the whole tri-state area, thank you for what you did in your public service, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you everybody for inviting me and honoring me here. As I have said before also, that I'm not the hero. My action that day were same that you will expect from any other American. Real heroes are the cops and the law enforcement, and we all are more stronger in the face of terror when we all stand together. Thank you so much.
Next, I'd like to call on Freeholder Kowalski, who is chairman of our Open Space Trust Fund, along with Freeholders Carter and Vice Chairman Granados, who are going to give out that pile of checks that are sitting on the front table.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. It's our great pleasure to have these checks for you from our Open Space, Recreation, and Preservation Trust Fund. Before we begin the check presentation, could I ask the members of the Public Advisory Committee for the Trust Fund to come forward? They meet regularly and consider the recreation and preservation needs of people all around the county, and we're very pleased to have them. Let me introduce Janice Siegel from Westfield, Mr. Michael Yasenko from Union.
Lisa Palin, Roselle.
Amy Wagner, Economic Development. Sorry.
Rose Checchio, Scotch Plains.
City of Plainfield.
Ron Zuber, Parks and Recreation.
Arthur Colbert, City of Hillside.
Ed O'Malley from Cranford.
Thanks to all of you, and I think we're taking a picture of the committee members. Okay, so we have a total of about $1 million, and we're going alphabetically by our townships. Now, this is the Recreation Trust Fund presentations, as well as, which of course is for recreation for our residents, as well as the Greening Union County. And I think on the displays here we'll have, it'll change to show. That's my hope anyway, that which municipality and what the award will be for them. So let me call forward Mr. Tom Barton, Recreation Director for Berkeley Heights. Oh, there we go. And so you are being awarded $50,000 for improvements to Memorial and Columbia Park, and $5,250 for 11 trees. And would you like to say anything?
Thank you very much to the Freeholder Board. We're going to continue work in Veterans Memorial Park, which was the recipient of last year's grant. Much work was done, and this year we're going to add a playground and also continue work at Lower Columbia Park, and we've got lots of space for trees too.
And now let me call forward Mr. Ralph Bernardo, Recreation Director of Clark. And for Clark, we have $39,000. We'll let you tell us what it's for.
Hi. Thank you to the Freeholder Board and to the committee that made the checks available. This money will be going towards a baseball scoreboards, continuous improvement on our soccer field, and an entire new volleyball system for our gyms. Thank you very much.
Sounds like a traffic cop.
Now let me call forward Commissioner Tom Hannon of Cranford and Edward O'Malley from the Public Advisory Committee. And for Cranford, we have $60,000, which Commissioner Hannon will tell us what that's for, and $4,000 for trees.
Thank you, Freeholder. Always need trees. A member of our Tree Advisory Committee, Mrs. Barbara Kraus, is in the audience this evening, and as a result of the previous hurricanes that have swept through Union County, we could always use the money to replace many of the trees that have been lost. In addition to that, we'll be using the other funds for Memorial Field renovations to renovate for soccer field and baseball field. Thank you very much.
Let me invite up
Friend, how are you?
from
How
the
you
City of Elizabeth, Paul
Thank you,
Odessa,
Karen.
Recreation Director.
Right, Paul. It's okay.
For Elizabeth, we have $85,000. You'll.
I'm not running this year. Trees.
Well, this project is going to, we're going to renovate the Green Acres Playground, which is on Bellevue Street in Elizabeth, which is in the Moores section, which is, I know we have some friends from Roselle here, and is right on the Roselle border. So your residents will be able to enjoy it in addition to ours. We're going to be replacing the old playground equipment. We're going to also add a basketball court, a walking path, a spray feature, fencing, and other site amenities. So we're looking forward to this project. And also, we're going to be renovating Carteret Park, which we have School 14 right next to it. A lot of the children from that school uses that playground and park for recess. So we're going to be replacing that playground and also the basketball court. So again, thank you, freeholders. On behalf of Mayor Bowlich and the City of Elizabeth, thank you again.
Sorry.
Next, we're going to call up Robert Budansky, Recreation Director, Borough of Fanwood. Borough of Fanwood is receiving a $40,000 amount awarded for the Forest Road Park improvements to tennis courts, gazebo paths, and landscaping, and also $1,200 towards trees for the Greening Union County grant. I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk. I know you're amazed with the money, but we're going to get you.
First, I'd like to thank the Union County Board of Freeholders. And this money will be going toward the redevelopment of Forest Road Park. That will include playground facilities, handball courts, shade structure, dugouts, picnic areas. It's a lot of things. This will go toward funding that. Thank you.
Marvelous. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to call up the Borough of Garwood. Is anyone here from the Borough of Garwood?
Oh, sure, right there.
Mayor Lombardo, perfect. And Councilman Petroselli, thank you so much. And you are being awarded $5,000. And I believe you're going to have a few trees growing out there, aren't you? Wonderful. We'll give you the microphone.
Freeholders, the committee, thank you very much for this donation to the Fund Trust Fund. On behalf of the residents of Garwood, I thank you all for this donation, the Fund Trust Fund. It's Garwood, a small town with a big heart, and this will continue on the process of upgrading all our trees in the borough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have the Borough of Kenilworth, Councilwoman Kay Cesari. Did I say it right?
It's right there.
Perfect. Perfect timing. Borough Kenilworth is being awarded 2 checks this evening from the Kids Recreation Trust Fund, $50,000, and from the Greening Union County Grant, $2,500. You want to give us some information on your project? It is renovating 4 parks with picnic houses.
We are renovating 4 parks. This is a good start for it. And it's DeMario, 16th Street. And the other 2 escape me. The gazebo and storage. And the picnic house. I'm not much of a speaker, but you know, I wanted to come up and thank the board for this on behalf of Kenilworth and Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And let me call forward Mr. Michael Butrico, the Assistant Recreation Director of Mountainside. Did I get the name wrong?
No, you got it exactly right.
Oh, okay. And we have for you a $40,000 check, and you'll tell us about the Beechwood School soccer field.
We're looking to renovate our Beechwood Schools field into a regulation-sized soccer field, and we're also looking to use the money to renovate our softball facilities and put new roofs on all the dugouts and resurface the infields. Thank you.
From New Providence, we have Councilman Madden here, or is he here tonight? Yes, all right. Councilman Madden and Doug Marvin, the administrator, and Bernadette Cuccaro, the recreation director. And, oh, is the mayor here too? Oh, Mayor Morgan is here. How could I overlook you? Come on up.
Oh, boy.
Would you like to tell us a little bit?
Sure. This is going to our Oakwood Park facility. We started construction last month. We're going to be putting a turf field in with some lighting and a new baseball field. And this is going to be a nice addition because there was an old skating rink there, and this is going to give us the money to do the upgrades. So we want to thank you very much, and this is a nice addition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good to see you. How you doing? Good to see you.
From the city of Plainfield,
Mayor, how are you?
I'll
How
give
you
this
doing?
to Freeholder Carter.
Yeah, I think it's about-
We have our business administrator, Rick Smiley, and we're going to ask Mr. Eke to come up, our Public Advisory Committee. We also have our Recreation
to see you, huh?
Director,
Taking care.
Ronnie Taylor. And Plainfield will be awarded. We do have 2. Look at this, I'll tell you.
I tell you, you got your own.
$20,000 from the Greening Union County Grant, and also another $45,500 from the Kids Trust Recreation. So I'm going to actually turn it over to you.
Thank you, Freeholder. On behalf of Adrian O'Matt, Mayor of Plainfield, we'd like to thank the Freeholders again for their generous support of our recreational activities and continued support of the greening of Plainfield. I also have with me my Superintendent of Recreation, who would like to say a few words about our project.
Thank you all, as always, for supporting Plainfield's recreational initiatives. I know the $45,000 is going to go to Rushmore Field. It's a heavily used field. We're going to put in a concession stand so that my soccer teams can have concessions to pay for their officials like our football team. This other money, I think, will be ferreted off to the Shade Tree Commission. I'm sure they're going to buy plenty of trees. Thank y'all so much, as always.
And from the city of Rahway. Okay, Councilman Brown and Councilwoman Joanna Miles.
How are you doing? Good to see you.
So for Broadway, $24,980 for basketball courts at Flanagan, Veterans, and Madden Park. Would you like to add anything else?
I'd like to thank, can you hear me? Yes. I'd like to thank the Freeholder Board for giving us this donation to the city of Rahway. All the parks that's going to be getting done, I'm really glad to see that in the 4th Ward. Madden Field is going to be done with the recreation dollars and all things that we're putting together there in the city of Rahway. And while I'm here, I'd like to also thank the Freeholder Board for putting the football field in the city of Rahway. I think last week when it was open, it was very nice. A lot of the people congratulated the city of Rahway, plus the Freeholder Board, of doing a good job. It just shows you when people work together what you can accomplish. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We have the Borough of Roselle. We have Mayor Christine Danzero, Administrator David Brown, Public Advisory Committee Lisa Palin. We also have the Recreation Director, correct? Right, Mr. Shaw. And we have a Council President, Mrs. Kim Shaw. And the Borough of Roselle is receiving 2 grants, awarded $50,000 from the Kids Recreation Trust Grant for the Arminio football and track field, and also you're awarded $4,000 from Greening Union County for 70 trees.
I'll pass this over to you in a moment. On behalf of the Borough of Roselle, the Board of Education, the rest of the council, and our community and children, we thank you very much for this donation. In a minute, I'm going to let our Recreation Director take charge of discussing Arminio Field and Track, which is a wonderful project. The other is we were Tree City for many years, but the hurricane reduced that. So we're real happy to be able to replace these trees with the money you're offering. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Once again, thank you, Freeholders, for your ongoing support. I know that our Abraham Clark High School football team is going to love the new improvements, as they are now 5-0 and conference champs. So we're proud of them for being so successful this year. But once again, thank you for all your help, all of our endeavors that you've constantly supported, and it really means a lot as we continue to build our community. So thank you once again.
No, we'll just let you go with those two.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we'll call forward next the Mayor of Roselle Park, Mayor Carl Hokinson. And for Roselle Park, we have a check for $75,000.
It's good to see you. How are you? Good to see you.
And that's for lighting at the high school, right?
Yes. We had a misfortune where one of our light stanchions at our athletic complex fell due to wear and tear. Thank God nobody was hurt, but upon checking further, we found that 7 others have to come down. So it was decided as a joint venture between the Board of Education and the Borough of Roselle Park to replace the lighting system on the athletic complex, which is basically the hub of Roselle Park, to keep our kids in a safe environment at night. It's used just about all the time. So with the help of the Freeholders Board, the $75,000 will be going to phase 1 of 1 of 3 phases to restart to replace the lights at our athletic complex that we can all use. So again, thank you.
Could I ask Freeholder Estrada to come up and join us for this picture?
I'm still a resident of Elizabeth, okay? I'm in the military now. I don't know. It's a new rumor. I moved to Roselle Park.
Apologies, Freeholder.
I thought you were going to try to photobomb us.
Always.
Freeholder Mirabella is going to have to help us with this one. For Scotch Plains, Mayor Kevin Glover is here, and Rose Checchio,
Well deserved, my friend.
Councilwoman, and PAC member. So, give you the microphone.
Give me the check first.
Give me the check first.
Mike's, we can get Mike's anytime. I'm really delighted to be here. Wow, look at this. 3? Okay, how's that? I always say it hides my belly, everybody, you know? Well, first and foremost, on behalf of myself and the hardest working deputy mayors in Union County, Rose Checchio, municipal manager, Al Mirabella, I want to thank the Board of Chosen Freeholders for your ongoing commitment to open space and to recreation. You truly are a shining light in Union County, making our lives, our citizens' lives, so much better. So we all thank you for that. And I can assure you this money is going to go to some wonderful projects, you know, as outlined here, renovating a bathroom, engineering for a new field that is sorely needed within our community. And I've got to tell you, I couldn't be happier to accept this on behalf of 23,500 citizens. And I couldn't be prouder to be working with my deputy mayor, who is passionate about open space and recreation. And she truly is one hard-working person. And I thank you, Rose, for your efforts for making this happen. And Mr. Mirabella and all of you here, why don't we give it up for the Freeholders for what they're doing. Thank you so much.
And our Fanwood Recreation Director, would you like to join us for the picture too? Oh, for the second one. Okay, sorry.
Who's on first? Do this one first, Bob.
Sit down.
Easy come, easy go, right?
care. All right, talk to him. All right. Bye now. The best. Take good care.
So, just so about the Scotch Plains Fanwood Award, this is for the Terrell Middle School field improvements, and Scotch Plains and Fanwood have a joint school district. So that's what that particular award is for. Okay, well, we need to bring our Freeholder Chairman Bergen down for the Township of Springfield and ask Mr. Betcher of Public Works, did I say that right? There we go. Okay. And Sam Mardini and Adam Lieb and Heather Ray. Okay. $75,000 award for lighting for Chisholm Park and $5,000 for trees.
Thank you. The township really appreciates the support of the freeholders and the trust fund grant for what's been a multi-year effort to upgrade and rehabilitate the Chisholm Community Center and Chisholm Park, which is really one of our centerpiece parks in Springfield. In addition to the trees, the grant for the permanent field lighting at Chisholm Park is going to allow us to install 8 light poles that will light 2 girls softball fields, an overlaid multi-purpose field, and also a children's playground. Thank you very much.
We have next the City of Summit, Mark Bazorski, Community Development, Jamie Colucci, Community Development. You're being awarded 2 checks. One is the $50,000 from the Kids Recreation Trust Grant and another $7,000 from the Greening Union County Grant. Would you like to talk about your projects?
On behalf of the City of Summit, we would like to thank the freeholders for this donation. It's going to go a long way in improving one of our premier fields in Summit. It's not only a field that our youth use, but it's also the premier stadium for the high school athletics as well. So this money is going to go a long way for new bleachers and a press box. So we thank everybody.
Take care.
Township of Union, we have the Recreation Director, Daniel Savante, and Michael Yasenko, Public Advisory Committee. And Freeholder Wright, if you'll come up, please. And Freeholder Jallo, if you'd come up, please. And you are being awarded for 2, $75,000 from the Kids Recreation Trust Grant and $4,700 from the Greening Union County Grant. Who would like to talk?
Thank you so much to the Freeholder Board. My name is DJ Salvante from the Recreation Department. We're going under upgrades to our safety surfaces throughout our playgrounds and parks, so this money is going to go a long way to help us achieve that goal. So thank you so much to the Freeholder Board, and thank you to our friends from Berkeley Heights and Clark, who are at the front of the alphabet. We'll have to wait for all the towns at the back. We appreciate your patience.
Thank you.
Next time we'll start from the rear. Union.
Next year we'll start backwards.
The town of Westfield. We have Larry McDermott, the
Next year, we're
Recreation
gonna start the other way
Commissioner.
around.
Is there anybody else here?
Guarantee you, okay?
And Janice Siegel. And you are receiving $50,000 from the Kids Trust Grant and $13,600 from the Union County Greening. So we'll ask for a few words.
We want to thank the Freeholder Board for this contribution to help us make improvements to our Tamaulipas and Memorial Parks. Thank you.
I am so pleased to be here because the town of Westfield is now participating in the TREES program. And so thank you to the freeholders. It's really great that Westfield is doing this.
Marvelous. Thank you so much. And if you come over towards me, it will be marvelous.
And last but not least, the City of Linden, Councilman Monty Brooks. Is Ms. Councilman here? Oh, there you are. And Freeholder Hudak. Thank you so much. Tell us about the playground equipment that this is going to be used for.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to thank the Board of Children Freeholders and everyone involved in this award. We have the Union County grant, and it's going to be used at Hagel Park, our playground equipment, and it's all going to be greatly appreciated and very, very, very greatly used. We'll have a lot of people there, so it's a joy to have everybody out there. It's a joy to have the award, and it's always a time to know when to graciously say thank you, and this is it. Thank you.
You're okay. I'm protected.
Again, just the checks down a little more. Just the checks.
Thanks, everyone, for your patience, and thanks for your participation and for all the great work that you're doing. And we'll be around to see what's going on in your parks with your trees.
If I could have everybody's attention just for a moment before you leave, I do want to mention that this November on the ballot will be a public question to renew the Open Space Trust Fund. So please go back to your towns, remind everybody of how useful these grants are, and ask them to please vote yes on the public question so we can keep these grants going year after year. Thank you.
Mayor, good to see you. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you.
And I also, for the record, Mr. Clerk, somewhere around the presentation to Kenilworth, Freeholder Hudak came into the room. Thank you, Chairman. Good to be here.
Duly noted.
Okay, we're going to move on to our regular order of business now. The first thing we have is approval of communication. Could I have a motion in that regard?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Carter. Please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter?
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada?
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak?
Aye.
Freeholder Jallo?
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski?
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Aye.
Freeholder Wright?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados?
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Next, we have approval of minutes. We have the agenda setting session from August 11, 2016, and the regular meeting from August 18, 2016. Could I please have a motion to waive the reading and accept the minutes of those 2 meetings?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Carter, seconded by Freeholder Kowalski. Clerk of the Board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter?
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada?
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak?
Abstain.
Freeholder Jallo?
Abstain from the August 18th regular meetings, aye to the 11th.
Freeholder Kowalski?
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Aye.
Freeholder Wright?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados? And Chairman Bergen.
Yes as to both.
Okay, Chairman, you have, let's see here, we have 7 votes in the affirmative with 1 abstention for the minutes of the August 11th agenda meeting. And then you have 6 votes in the affirmative with 2 abstentions for the minutes of the August 18th regular meeting.
Thank you. We now come to that portion of the meeting where the public can comment on pending resolutions only. If anyone has any comments on pending resolutions, please step forward, state your name, town of residence, and the resolution to which you are referring, and please remember the 5-minute time limit. Is anyone interested in commenting? Please step forward.
Good evening, everyone. Pat Moschetti, New Providence.
Nice to see you, Mr. Moschetti.
Thank you. You're welcome. I have several items I'd like to address and have hopefully answers back. For Resolution 798, there's going to be additional LSRP services added to a contract for $48,800. The 2 questions are, what does LSRP stand for? And this addition is roughly 40% more, which doesn't sound logical to me with a project unless there's some major things happening that weren't originally known. 806 resolution, that refers to what we just saw here, the giving out of almost $1 million. Projects for kids are great. I support them. I think most people do. But the taxpayers of Union County must understand that the money is not from the Union County freeholders. It's money from each municipality that goes into the kitty, that comes back in some way. And some places give out a lot of money and get a little back. Some groups put in a little money and get much more back from it. And I was also curious how you gave out the money, but you haven't voted on it yet. So that's a little interesting quirk on that system. 811, authorizing the City of Rahway Halloween party in the amount of $2,000. My question is, would Union County freeholders give $2,000 to every municipality for a similar event? If not, why not? 812, we're having a contract with Dr. Louis Schlesinger to provide expert services in the field of psychology for 4 months for $11,000. What is he going to be doing for that money? 814, we are involved with insurance fraud. We're getting $250,000 to investigate insurance fraud in Union County. So if someone could just put a couple of sentences behind that. Is that within the Union County government who are looking for insurance fraud? Or is it within the Union County businesses or individuals? And how large a problem is it, by the way? 815, we're getting involved with the U.S. Department of Justice, National Institute of Justice, for a DNA backlog. We're getting a grant of almost $250,000. What is this DNA backlog mean, and how big is it in Union County? 820, a resolution to approve a settlement of a pending litigation. amount of $120,000. Question is, were there Union County government employees involved in this settlement or the litigation? Is there any consequences for their actions? And any lessons that we learned from this lawsuit? Because obviously we don't want this to repeat it. If there aren't any consequences, then the odds are it might be repeated again. 837. Supporting a 4114 bill, which says that I guess we have, with the Transportation Trust Fund went to zero, we delayed projects, and so I guess you're supporting the getting money for delay costs back to the projects that were here. So what is the estimate for Union County? What did we actually lose in the process? And what lesson did we learn as a government that you don't let something go to zero? Businesses, when they see a forecast of demise, they do everything possible to not let that demise happen. Government seems to go past the 11th hour to the 13th hour and the 14th hour and so forth. The last one, 838. We're proposing, do you want to increase the passport acceptance fee rate from $25 to $35 to generate more money for the county? Question is, how much more money would this be, an estimate? And are the costs going up by 40% as the fee is going up by 40%? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muschieri. On 838, that is a matter requested by the county clerk. She's not here this evening, but it's essentially just to cover additional costs go up for us processing passports, so that's just an increase in fees that are allowable. So it would, in fact, help cover the county's costs to process passports. Beyond that, I can't give you the specifics on the amount of money, I'm sorry. 837, supporting Bill A4114, we don't know what our cost is on that. The governor has not yet signed the bill reinstating the Transportation Trust Fund. Presumably he will, but it will be some time before we presumably get official permission from the governor and Department of Transportation to move ahead with the jobs that were suspended because of them suspending the TTF funds. So until we get permission to go back and start gearing up and find out what our additional costs are, I just have no clue what that's going to be. But essentially, we're supporting this bill, which would save harmless the counties for these costs, which were not of our doing and were made by what happened at the state. So again, I can't give you a firm dollar figure. On number 820, I think it was before that, County Council, can you briefly address that?
Yes, that item was an automobile accident involving a state employee, but on behalf of the judiciary, under the terms and conditions of the agreement, we provide a vehicle and insure the vehicle. That's who was involved.
Thank you. Tim Eisenhower from the prosecutor's office. Hopefully you can address 812, 814, and 815, and maybe just give a little more information on what those are.
Good evening, Chairman. Through you, on 812, Dr. Schlesinger is a forensic psychologist. He testifies primarily for the state in homicide cases and some child abuse cases, some other violent crime cases, typically the most serious cases where the defense is asserting some sort of diminished capacity or insanity defense. He basically testifies as to the mental state of the defendant and the legal issues relevant to whether the defendant can be held culpable or not for the crime. He actually exceeded the threshold. We use him on a number of cases. He's very well respected within the field. and I think we probably have 10 cases or so, and that's why we need an additional 11,000 over. I think we've billed already 15,000 this year, and we're going over the threshold, which explains why we needed the additional monies. 814, insurance fraud. Insurance fraud is a problem throughout the country. It's certainly a problem in Union County. We investigate minor matters from where people get behind on car payments and towards their car, or more serious matters. There was one that members of the board may have seen recently where a pain management specialist in Union Township led to basically a multi-million-dollar insurance fraud where he was billing insurance companies for services that were not actually rendered. The DNA backlog reduction grant is really an outgrowth of the amount of evidence we see in criminal incidents where evidence has to be tested for DNA to see whether we can prove the case, whether we can tie a particular piece of evidence to someone or not. As the board is well familiar, the lab has for years been expanding its services. The Freeholder Board has been very gracious in funding some of the positions, but given the costs associated with DNA, we've been very aggressive in applying for grants. Some years the grant is as high as it exceeds $1 million, but that depends upon how many new pieces of equipment we buy or how many positions we're funding. This year the amount is less just because the lab is actually in pretty good shape. The number of cases have actually reduced, but I think we'll always be in a backlog situation. And fortunately, the federal government's willing to fund that so that we can do the work we need to do.
Thank you. Your question on 811, any municipality is free to make an application for sponsorship, and each one is considered on its face in and of itself. So I can't really answer your question other than we consider each application that comes in and make a determination. 806. I don't think, I didn't have a question on that, just a statement. And then 798. Tom Minio's here. Tom, can you just explain what an LSRP means and why the increase?
Yes, LSRP is a site, means a licensed site remediation professional. That's terminology used by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. This site has a contamination from its previous life when it was the Veneri complex, and there's residual groundwater sampling that we're required to do on a regular basis. And basically this is what that pays for, 3 more rounds of groundwater sampling.
So it would be fair to say it's an ongoing situation, and as it goes on, we have to have an LSRP as required by state law?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other members of the public who wish to raise questions or make comments concerning pending resolutions only?
Good evening, Chair Bergen, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce, Patterson, Garwood. On page 2, that's 798, which is another $48,000 going to T&M Associates for the ongoing groundwater investigation. The question is, we're giving them $180,000 now, and we gave them $140,000 or $130,000. But I mean, the question is, why all of a sudden we're giving them another $50,000? I mean, is that an extension of the contract that was already agreed to? Somehow that's really not explained fully. As to a 40% increase, that certainly is a very large increase. Mr. Mochetti asked why. I mean, just looking, last 3 years ago, $15,000 went to the coffers of the campaign of Granados, Kowalski, and Carter. And here it is. It just so happens, by coincidence, $49,000, 40% increase in contract. And who's up for election this year? Kowalski, Granados, and Carter. So, I mean, very suspicious on also this huge increase. And if anything, I think those 3 candidates for freeholder should actually recuse themselves on this vote on this. $70.99, right below it, Matrix is getting another $36,000, contract close to $800,000. In 4 years, they donated to the freeholders and the cronies $25,000. Number 805 on page 3, Neglia Associates is getting an amount for only $4,000. That's exciting. It's a small amount. But in the last 3 years, Neglia donated $19,000 to the freeholders and their cronies. Number 806, this is the checks that were given out, and also 807, it was the greening of Union County and the Kids Recreation Trust Fund. I understand it is matching. I'd just like somebody to confirm that. And the interesting thing is Winfield wasn't there at the very end, which is interesting. And I will talk about the Open Space Trust Fund later on. I understand Bruce, Chair Bergen did advocate for it. I'm going to talk about it a little bit come the public speaking portion at the end. Yeah, 811 on page 4. That's a $2,000 for the City of Rahway Halloween. I mean, you know, the public is beating down on this, but let me ask you a question. That $2,000, is that a matching fund? You're giving them $2,000 as long as they come up with $2,000? I'd like to know that. Page 5, the Union County Transportation Master Plan is up for approval. I appreciate, you know, this is something they have to do. I think it's a 5-year span, if you can confirm that. But a lot of labor went into it. But my question is, from the last plan to now, have we actually seen success or implemented things that were supposed to be implemented or discussed? Only because since the last plan to this plan, traffic has gotten worse. So, I mean, so far, I don't see any great success of these master plans. So if somebody could just explain how successful it was from the last time. 820 on that same page, $120,000 is approved to pay for a car accident. I appreciate somebody explaining that a state employee was driving a county car. I'd really like to know why that is, that a state employee was driving a county car. There may be a legitimate reason, but the public would like to know. Page 6, number 832, Community Access Unlimited Awards, Annual Gala Dinner Dance. You're congratulating it. They gave $1,500 for 3 years. 835, supporting the Senate budget resolution for $21 million for this criminal justice system administrative office reform. I guess that's what they're coming down. I forgot what the term was, but I do appreciate that the taxpayers are getting dinged big time by this, and that we should be getting reimbursed somewhat, $21 million for all counts. The 838, the passport acceptance fee rate increase. You know, I do advocate for user fees, you know, and it's nice to be passing it on, but I guess this sounds more like it's just trying to be a self-sustaining department for the county clerk. We're sitting on a forecast of $30 million in surplus. Last year was generated $50 million surplus, which I'm not going to go into why. But I mean, to increase $10, I mean, we'd really like to know how much money that will garner in that.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Let's see. 820, I think that was responded to, but maybe County Council can just clarify why a state employee was driving a county car.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. It is a pre-existing arrangement prior to the state takeover in 1995 of the courts. And the arrangement was that the county would provide a vehicle for delivery services, basically mail services with reference to any judiciary actions. They supply the employee, we supply the car. That was the arrangement under the 1995 takeover. All services provided previously by the county in terms of services and equipment had to be continued. So that's why we continue.
Thank you. Let's see.
Chairman? Excuse me, just on the trust fund grants, yes, they are matching grants.
Okay.
And I believe Winfield did not apply. That's why we did not have an award for them.
Thank you. As far as the question about the success of the prior transportation master plan, certainly the county uses it as guidance on what we're doing year in and year out, but I'm not in a position tonight to point to anything specific other than that we do use it as guidance for our policy. And obviously, after a number of years, it makes sense to do another study and see what's changed over the course of time so that we can be further guided as we move forward. Let's see. The question was whether the sponsorships are matching funds. Those are not. Those are just grants. Though I would say in general they're a small portion generally of the budget of an event. So generally we're not paying for a whole event, but they're not specifically matching funds. On 799, Tom, maybe you could just, well, actually, I think I can respond to that. If the new amount is a not to exceed, so it's not increasing the budget necessarily, the cost, it's increasing the available funds. And as it was stated, it's an ongoing cleanup. We're required by the state to have these services. So as they're billed to us, we need to have enough money available to pay them. I can't tell you that this will be the last time because it is an ongoing cleanup, and it's a requirement that we pay this money. I think that covers everything, Mr. Patterson. Any other members of the public wishing to address pending resolutions? Seeing none, I will close that portion of the meeting and ask that I have a motion to enact resolutions 2016-797 through 2016-839.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry, Freeholder.
I would like to be included to 2016-833, please, before we take the vote.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, did you hear that? Adding.
That's resolution
Freeholder Strata as a sponsor to
833.
833.
Yep.
Okay.
Duly noted.
Thank you, Freeholder. We had a motion by Freeholder Mirabella. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Mirabella, jointly seconded by Freeholder Freeholder Kowalski. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Freeholder Carter.
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada.
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak.
No to 838, aye to the rest.
Freeholder Jallo. Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Aye.
Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados.
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen.
Abstain to 2016-804, and yes to the remaining resolutions.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative for the resolutions, with the exception of Resolution 2016-838, where you have 8 votes in the affirmative with 1 in the negative. And you have, for Resolution 2016-804, 8 votes in the affirmative with 1 abstention.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The meeting is now open to the public for the purpose of commenting on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the county. Once again, please state your name and town of residence, and recall the 5-minute time limit. Any member of the public wishing to step forward at this time?
Good evening, Chair Bergen, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson, Garwood. I did say I was going to talk about Open Space Trust Fund. And yes, it's on the ballot, but I mean, in Garwood, the Garwood Council are actually talking about why this isn't really being a high-profile issue. To me, it's more or less a done deal, unfortunately. I advocate for Open Space Trust Fund. Unfortunately, the Open Space Trust Fund that the freeholders or the county government is enabling is not the Open Space Trust Fund that really should be in existence. We're looking at possibly around $9.5 million that is being collected every year. But if you look at how the distribution is, I mean, this looks great. Really, it was a dog and pony show because the people that were giving out the checks are the same ones up for election. There's nothing illegal about it, of course. And it's nice that the money is given to the people. And I think Mr. Mochetti was the one that actually said, yes, it's the people's money that goes over into the county, obviously takes a big, and then it gets given back. You know, so it's really just politics involved. But let me tell you about the Open Space Trust Fund. Yeah, it's around $9.5 million, roughly. I'm not up on exact dollar amount. But in looking at the breakdown, close to $3 million from the budget cycle previous this year, close to $3 million is actually in employee costs. Has nothing to really do with open space, historic, recreation. It's employee costs. To me, that's definitely wrong. I don't know if legal, but you know, you guys really just skirt around legalities anyway. Also of that $9.5 million, about $4 million is debt service. As the years went on, we gathered, I think it's 300 acres or more. You know, you were borrowing money left and right under the Caroselli finance department and now Bibby Taylor department. So you gathered like whatever the debt is, but the $4 million is debt service. So close to $3 million is employee cost. $4 million is just debt service. $1 million is in loans and miscellaneous. And that's not really achieving anything anyway. So we're talking about $8 million of this open space trust fund not even being productive. Maybe in the past, you know, you borrowed a lot of money, you probably shouldn't have, but now we're here, $8 million out of the $9.5 million is being non-productive. So somehow you guys did not implement this open space trust fund properly. That leaves about $1.5 million. It's nice to see checks given out, you know, on the greening and on the kids' recreation trust fund. But all that is a show. Mr. Burry, I don't know, maybe about 6 months ago, asked when this first came up for approval. He said, you know, what exactly have you bought recently? And it turns out about 4 years ago it was one parcel of land over, I guess, on Cooper Road in Scotch Plains. So, and that parcel of land was like maybe $500,000 tops. So we lost focus of what this is. And yet now we're looking at this being on the ballot to vote on as a permanent tax. A permanent tax. We already know that you guys handling tax monies is like a kid in a candy store. Nobody uses any critical thinking. All you do is just raise taxes. Last year we had $50 million surplus. $50 million, that's 10% of the budget. $50 million came. And what happens? We give Mirabella as the finance chair, and we still get taxes raised, approximately $8 million. With a $50 million surplus from last year, our taxes are still raised. Basically, you guys are fiscal failures. I've mentioned this year after year after year, and you want now a permanent tax. I suggest you know, you do something to get this off the ballot. If it's too late, I just scrap it. I don't know what to do here. But you guys and the Open Space Trust Fund are complete failures. It started off good intentions, the year 2000. It's not even up for a vote yet. The sunset provision is in about 3 more years. You guys pushed it forward in the beginning of the year. I did complain about that. Jala did say, well, you know, being a presidential election, there'll be more people coming out to vote. But to tell you the truth, I don't even think this is illegal what you're doing. But this is all my 2 cents. You know, I've been saying you're fiscal failures all along. You know, prove me wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Any other member of the public wishing to speak?
Good evening, freeholders. My name is Barbara Krause from Cranford, New Jersey. As a 52-year resident of Union County, I am addressing you on the subject of the biking access to the trails of Watchung Reservation. My background as a volunteer conservationist lends validity to my concern for the reservation. As an environmentally conscious citizen, I have served as a founding member of the Hanson Park Conservancy in Cranford, a 10-year member of the Cranford Tree Advisory Board, a 25-year member of the Union County Air Traffic Noise Advisory Board, and a leader of the Cranford effort, which saved 700 trees from destruction at Union County College. With your help, thank you. First, may I preface my comments with a Merriam-Webster legal definition of the word, and I quote, reservation is a public land reserved for a special purpose as conservation, a natural habitat for wildlife, etc. With this definition, it appears that the reservation is a passive area use, and mountain biking, by definition, as an active use, presents a serious conflict. Notice that it is a reservation, not a park. The reservation was planned by the Olmsted Group to be a passive reservation. In New Jersey, the most densely populated state in the country, it is shocking and short-sighted to think that the Union County freeholders could allow the Jersey Off-Road Bicycle Association to take over the largest pristine open acreage of Union County, thanks to Olmsted planning and the foresight decades ago of members of the Union County government right here. Never would they have condoned desecration of their legacy. It has been mentioned by the bikers there are at least 21 New Jersey parks where mountain biking is permitted, and so that is fine for parks, which by definition can sustain the multiple active uses. Letters in the Westfield Leader newspaper from bikers referred to the Watchung Reservation as a park, stating, I quote, the park is useless to all that live in Union County, and it's past time for those guys causing mismanagement to step aside so the park can be enjoyed by all, not just the grumpy few. Sadly, the definition of park versus reservation is ignored, and that we who live here in Union County, who are not bikers but are devoted environmental conservationists, families with small children, hikers, bird watchers, etc., are not just the grumpy and not just the few. Watchung Reservation is not, as stated by a biker in the September 1 Westfield Leader to the editor in a letter, quote, the ideal location for the first and only mountain bike trail network in Union County, and quite simply, the presence of mountain trail bike riders at Watchung Reservation will make the experience safer and more enjoyable for all trail users, end quote. To believe that statement is irresponsible. It is very disturbing that, as reported from the freeholders meeting of August 18th, Chairman Bergen informed the bikers that a plan to reintroduce bikes to the reservation is forthcoming. And according to the Westfield Leader of October 6th, reporting the freeholders meeting of September 29th, Director of County Parks and Recreation Ron Zuber said, quote, the county is willing to listen to what the riders have to say before determining whether to amend the master plan to include mountain biking. Now, isn't that exclusionary? Why not be willing to also hear from the majority of Watchung Reservation patrons, the walkers, hikers, bird watchers, etc., all entitled to the quiet beauty of the reservation? Bikers do not automatically merit equal access to the reservation as demanded at the September 29th freeholder meeting. As reported in the same newspaper, on the Union County freeholder meeting of September 29th, it is most troubling to read the comments of freeholder Chris Hudak, who said, quote, he welcomes the addition of mountain biking with a caveat that it is done correctly. And further, freeholder Angel Estrada responded that, quote, it's going to happen. I think it will happen. And you can quote me on that one. The county has scheduled a special meeting with bikers October 20th. Again, where is the input from or meeting with the longtime and current passive users of the reservation? Have the squeaky wheels pressured the freeholders to meet their demands? The Jorba Group is an organized statewide group, and if other patrons of the reservation were organized, they would speak with even more valid reasons to preserve the reservation from biker use. My plea is to urge the Union County freeholders to maintain the bike ban in the reservation and not introduce multi-use trails. All of us have a stake in the future of the Watchung Reservation to respect
Thank you, Ms. Kress. I'm sorry, your time is up.
Excuse me, may I just finish one sentence?
Please finish.
The time-honored legacy of the Olmsted vision by protecting the walking trails as planned by Olmsted and to protect adults and families with small
Please
children
finish. I'm
who
sorry.
cherish the nature trails by preserving
Your time
the
is
soul
up.
of
Please,
Union County for future generations.
please sit down. Thank you.
Thank you. And and the bikers did
Thank
take
you.
more
Please-
time
please sit
after
down.
their time, so.
Are there any other members of the public wishing to address any issue?
Pat Moschetti, New Providence. I haven't been here for about a half a year, so please bear with me in my talking to you. I'm not a lawyer or a person with eloquence in speaking. The first topic is election calendar. I have one in my hand, 2016. My questions are we going to have this for 2017? And if so, at what cost to produce it, and what people power in the county is required to generate this thing? The reason I'm asking, it's a nice piece of thing to look at, but if it takes a lot of effort and money, you want to probably seriously consider not doing this going forward, since most of the things we now do are on the websites. There are also some major errors in it regarding the text, and I was wondering if this was actually revised. If it was revised, at what expense? If not revised, it's a little egg on the face of the people who generated it. Like FDR was not a New Jersey governor, as stated in the text, and the dates of someone's birth and date are not correct, and on and on and on. So even though I do multiple jobs, I will volunteer to proofread the next issue at no cost to the county. So I'll give you my phone number, email address, and everything else. Because this is really sad if it goes out under the Union County Clerk's name. So if it was revised, I'd like to know how many were done and how much money it cost. Number two, several months ago, Union County Freeholders established a unit of one. Bear with me, I don't remember the name of it. But basically, it's one female person was taken out of her previous job and moved into a position to assist women in Union County navigate the various Union County government processes, programs, and projects. Was her position backfilled where she was before? If not, how is that work getting done? And if the work is not being done anymore, then the question is, why was she doing it in the first place? In terms of having this one woman being on roll to help women in Union County navigate through Union County processes, I really believe that many women would be offended by this. Many women are intelligent, capable of accessing information. They really have to have a female holding their hand and walking them through this process. Females represent more than 50% of the population, so it's not a minority group that's being assisted. And there's a very good probability that we're going to have a woman as the President of the United States. So having this female group of one, to me, doesn't make sense to me. And from the taxpayers, I think we should be offended, because if your programs are not able to be understood, then maybe your programs need to be better, or the people who are creating them and on top of it should be able to explain it to the population and not have another person in between doing that. So I think you need to look at that very seriously going forward. And also, you say there was no expense to the additional expense to the county, but if she's just going to be there answering questions, that's one thing. But as everyone knows, government gets bigger and bigger, and she'll have to have some type of program. She'll have to have some expenses associated with that, some materials, some whatever, and it grows beyond her salary. That's just the way it works. 3, education. It's great to hear many good things that are coming out about the Union County magnet vocational high schools. That's terrific, and that's very good. So I applaud your efforts to help that. I also applaud the students, their parents, the administrators in those schools, and also the teachers, okay? That's the good side. The bad side is Union County College continues to have terrible graduation rates. And I know you'll say, well, they're better than most of the other counties in the state. Well, when you're comparing bologna, you don't want to be bologna, you want to be steak, okay? And the basic promise is what is causing these bad graduation rates? Is anyone addressing them? Such as, do we have failing public schools that are bringing up the supply of these failing students? Are we talking about dysfunctional family units? Are we talking about lack of job opportunities? Are we addressing the problem so we don't have this graduation rate so bad? Because I'm assuming it's not the teachers there, it's not the administrators, and it's not the lack of the money that we're giving to you. The last one is the passport acceptance fee, the rate that was just, you agreed that it was a good idea to have 40% increase. I applaud Freeholder Hudak to vote no, even though it's basically spinning in the wind.
Thank you, Mr. Machete. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would note that the person who took the position with the Office on Women, that her prior position was backfilled. And as far as the election calendar, you'll have to, I don't have the answers to any of that information. That's an internal workings of the county clerk. I'm sure you can get the answer from her, or if you want to send me an email, I'll try and get those answers for you. Anyone else in the public who wishes to make a comment?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Kirk Krause, Cranford. I'm speaking to you in reference to recent publicity I read indicating the county has been requested to permit bikes on paths through Watchung Reservation. I would oppose the addition of these bikers on any trails, current or future, in Watchung Reservation. For 24 years, I have utilized Watchung Reservation for hiking and jogging. The trail system is a highlight of the reservation and is well recognized and utilized for the hiking purpose. As a past championship college NCAA cross-country runner who has run courses throughout the East, I view Watchung as an ideal location for nature appreciation, peace, and quiet contained in a vast natural environment. Moreover, as a hiker, I've traveled the Appalachian Trail for 22 summers, over 1,000 miles through 9 states, from Virginia through Vermont. I've also hiked many miles through other trails where bikers are not permitted, and it's for good reason. Watchung Reservation should remain explored solely by foot travel. Many aspects of this proposal for bikes are concerning and deserve close consideration. 90% of the trails are one-person width, except for the bridle paths. Numerous stretches are soft soil and will erode under bikes. Bikes will require widening of the trails. Who will maintain the trails with increased erosion from bikes? An example of an ideal path width for bikes is the DNR Canal, which is down near on the Raritan River, or unused rail lines. Here in Watchung Reservation, there are many sharp turns and blind corners. The vast majority of trails are not suitable for bikes because of the lack of visibility and passing ability. Bikers may not have complete control over their bikes or on these rough trails, some having hills and rocky outcrops, with bikers of all experiences and judgment levels. Overall incidents and injuries could rise, increasing liability against the county from both walkers and accidents from bikers. Would bikers and walkers be combined going in different directions or same directions? Walkers listening with earphones to electronic devices would lose the ability to detect approaching bikers and be at much greater risk of accident. Weekends are popular walking periods for families and small children. Who has the right of way with bikers? Some bikers will start privately timed competitive speed trials and performance-based course challenges. How would these be guaranteed not to occur? Construction of a path should be considered also wildlife habitat loss. Its effects require thorough examination. I know warblers and which are small forest birds, are sensitive to habitat loss, which should be examined as well with any significant changes. This proposal presents safety hazards to hiker, walker, and biker. Access and evacuation of any injured persons is complicated by the terrain and woodlands. There are costs and liabilities to the county with respect to managing and anticipating possible injuries. How would police enforcement of rules be established on trails? How about the increased county costs for sustained enforcement of rules? In summary, the negative implications of bikes in Watchung Reservation would destroy this large 2,000-acre passive, uneventful, therapeutic recreation environment in the most densely populated state of the county. Such an undisturbed area by human impacts make this reservation deserving of actually a wildlife refuge or nature preserve designation.
Thank you for your comments. Any other members of the public? Seeing none, I'm going to close that portion
of the meeting, turn to freeholder comments. Freeholder Hudak.
Thank you, Chairman. First, the last hazardous waste event for 2016 will take place on Saturday, October 15th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Altel Lucent Technology Campus in New Providence. This is for automobile tires, household chemicals, propane tanks, and a number of other items. This is a service of the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders and is available to all residents to help with the environment by ensuring that unwanted items are not entered into the garbage stream and they are recycled and disposed of properly. Also, at the same location, our next free paper shredding event will be held on Saturday, October 22nd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The shredding event provides residents with a convenient and secure way to dispose of confidential documents that they no longer need. These are some of the most popular county services we have, and they're used by thousands of residents each year. For more information, visit ucnj.org/recycling. I wanted to respond to a few of the comments made regarding the trust fund and the referendum that will be on the ballot this year. I think everyone on the board is very much aware that the checks that we presented this evening for the Kids Rec Trust and Greening Union County grants, they're certainly not the board's money. They are the residents' money, and that came from a referendum 16 years ago, and we very much hope that that referendum will pass again this year, and that will solidify that project for future generations. It is the people's money, and the people and the representatives have well documented the popularity of the program from the programs they come through the municipalities, as well as the recreational programs in Union County, which have been cited time and time again as what contributes to the high quality of life in our parks and our summer programming. People enjoy the parks, and the people ultimately have the choice as to whether or not the initiative and the trust fund will continue. We're very confident they will, because it is a good quality program, and will want to see it continue to grow and expand. So I'm very supportive of the initiative and the referendum, and I'm very certain that the residents of Union County will be supportive of the referendum. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Freeholder Jallo.
None at this time, Chairman.
Thank you. Freeholder Wright.
Yes. I had the pleasure of stopping by the ballistic laboratory in our public safety department in Westfield with Chairman Bergen and Freeholder Kowalski last week to see the new Leica FSC comparison microscope. This is an essential tool for providing evidence in solving gun crimes. It can also help law enforcement gather information and focus resources to prevent gun crimes. In one notable example, our comparison microscope was instrumental in linking one gun and one suspect to 7 different shootings in Union County and Pennsylvania. When we acquired our first comparison microscope in 2005, it made an enormous difference. Our firearms ID unit no longer had to send evidence out of the county and wait for the results. And we were able to assist other agencies with their investigations. With the addition of this new microscope, we will be able to step up our efforts to solve and prevent gun crimes here in Union County and across the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Kowalski.
Thank you, Chairman, and I just want to thank again all of the representatives of our municipalities who came tonight, as well as my colleagues and the Open Space Trust Fund staff, and also Barbara and Kurt Kraus. We appreciate your comments, as well as the other speakers. Along the lines of what Freeholder Hudak said, I just want to remind you that it really does take a conscious effort to protect open space, green space, not just in Union County, but everywhere. And that's why nearly 100 years ago, this county began its county park system. And we can see with all of the development, all the press for economic progress around the country, if you don't make the decision to set aside open space, it's just too easy for that space to get filled up by various businesses, by things that are not going to provide peaceful recreation for people. So I thank my colleagues for supporting this effort, and I expect that we will be able to continue once this election is over. I'd like to mention a couple of things that our people could be aware of. The Unity Achievement Awards that are sponsored by the County Human Relations Commission and the Freeholder Board. And these awards honor individuals and organizations who enhance the quality of life in our community. And they acknowledge the hard work and dedication of nominees. They must be people who live, work in Union County or attend school here. So if you know a person or organization that embodies the ideals of respect for human rights, human dignity, and cultural diversity, please consider nominating them, and you can go to ucnj.org, our website, to find out more about that. And I'm also pleased to announce that Union County's Workforce Innovation Business Center is providing support services to the company AirServe for recruiting qualified applicants to fill 50 positions at Newark Liberty International Airport. And this event will take place next Tuesday, October 18th. At this moment, there are, as I said, 50 new positions, but the goal is to eventually have 230 jobs there. AirServe has previously worked with the WIB Center to place scores of county residents in quality jobs, and we're proud to continue this relationship to assist job seekers in our community. And you can get more details on that at our website, ucnj.org/WDB. So for questions about the October 18th recruitment event, please call Susan Gomez at Union County College, our partner in this, at 908-355-4444. That's 908-355-4444. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Carter.
Thank you, Chairman. The fall season is in full swing, and so are many of our popular county park events. Believe it or not, as these events are coming up, they're quickly selling out. I want to take a moment to announce a few additional events sponsored by the Freeholder Board that might be of interest to our families and our residents. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Union County comes alive during 4 centuries in a weekend, with a journey through the county's rich history. Among the tours of historic sites, many organizations are also offering special program and events. From 18th century cooking demonstrations to a Revolutionary War reenactment. This 2-day free event opens the doors to more than 370 years of history throughout the county. Free copies of the 4 Centuries in a Weekend tour booklet, map, and the Time Traveler Passport for Children are available through the Office of Cultural and Heritage Affairs. You can call them at 908-436-2912 or visit ucnj.org/cultural. Also, the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholder is proud to sponsor the one-night comedy performance by Sinbad at the Union County Performing Arts Center in Rawway. This will take place on Saturday, October the 29th at 8 p.m. Get your tickets now for the one-night riotous performance from the veteran comedian as he shares his hilarious life observations with his signature hit-em-in-the-face style. Tickets range from $25 to $55 and can be purchased by calling the UC PAC box office at 732-499-8226 or by visiting ucpac.org. Also on November the 1st, join us at the historic Snyder Academy here in Elizabeth for the county's first History Paint Night Social. as the former parish house of the First Presbyterian Church, as well as the site where Alexander Hamilton received his education. History Paint Night Social at Snyder Academy with resident artist Rafael Rodriguez will be a wonderful experience that blends history and art. Designed for all painting skill levels, painting materials will be provided for each participant. For more information or to register, contact the Union County Office of Cultural and Heritage Affairs, again at 908-436-2912, or visit the ucnj.org/cultural. We have a lot of stuff that's going on in the county all year long, but it really is just mindful to take a look at the website to see, you know what, some of those indoor activities we can take now that the fall is here. So please don't stay in the house. Let's get out and visit around the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Estrada.
No report, sir.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple things. I want to first thank Freeholder Kowalski for her leadership on the Open Space Committee this year, primarily culminating tonight in the presentation tonight. Freeholder, thank you and good work. I want to mention just briefly, last Friday we had the 8th annual Columbus Day flag raising event to thank Seb D'Elia for his leadership in that event. And I also want to particularly note County Manager Al Fiella was the keynote speaker and did a terrific job. Al, thank you for doing that. It was a great event for those Italian Americans that were there and those around Union County. On behalf of Union County Clerk Joanne Rajapi, I'm very pleased to announce the launch of the new Union County Clerk Elections website at unioncountyvotes.com. Launched earlier this month, the new website offers voters easy access to all things related to the voting and election process, including registration deadlines and vote-by-mail ballots. Ms. Rajapi has noted unioncountyvotes.com is designed to provide the public with information in a simple, easy-to-follow format that resembles the free Union County Votes mobile app. I encourage you to download that as well on your mobile device. It's essentially and especially convenient for people who need to view the websites in larger type. The one-click access to all Union County election information, so please visit unioncountyvotes.com. Of course, access to the Union County Clerk Services, you can still visit online at the Union County website, ucnj.org. Regarding Union County College, it seems to be some regular theme that's coming up. You know, I want to note for the record that, you know, the graduation rate was 18%, more than triple the amount that when Dr. McMenamin took over as the president. I'm proud of the work that she's doing. I don't understand what this assault is on her and the college. I think I would, you know, be in a position to encourage her to continue the progress and the work that she's doing. I'm proud of her and the faculty there at Union County College. We have one of the best, if not the best, county colleges in the entire state. And I'm getting a little tired of hearing about this assault on a regular basis. It just seems to me unnecessary. That concludes my remarks, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Vice Chairman Granados.
I recently had the pleasure to join with my Freeholder colleague, Freeholder Linda Carter, Freeholder Betty Jane Klosky, Freeholder Mirabella, and Freeholder Ronell Wright, along with Director Zuber, in opening the brand new all-accessible fishing pier at Warrenangle Park. It's definitely a great addition to our park system and making sure it's inclusive to all residents and to all individuals within the County of Union. So definitely want to commend Director Zuber and his staff in making sure that we keep updating our parks and making sure they're beneficial to all residents. That's it, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. County Council, any comments tonight?
No comments tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
County Manager.
No comments, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I just want to really briefly address two of Mr. Patterson's points concerning the Open Space Trust Fund. And I have to strenuously disagree with your statement that the money being paid to pay back loans and the money being paid to employees is not productive. In fact, those loans are what allowed us to purchase property over the years and preserve it. If we waited each year to have enough money to buy property, it would be long gone before we had an opportunity to buy it. So I think that using that money to pay off loans that purchased property is very productive. Likewise, the employees, the parks and the reservation don't take care of themselves. And part of being good stewards of that open land is to have employees to do what needs to be done to protect them. So again, I disagree with you strenuously that that's non-productive funds. I too, as has been stated by many of the board members tonight, and all of them over time, support the renewal of the Open Space Trust Fund. It has allowed us to do very much good for the public over the course of a long period of time, and I look forward to being able to do that through the years as we move forward. I also want to address briefly some of the comments concerning the bike paths in Watchung Reservation. And I thank Dr. Kraus and Ms. Kraus for coming in, but I have to point out a couple of factual errors in your thinking, not the least of which is that these are not going to be multi-use paths. In fact, the revised master plan for Watchung Reservation strictly has separate paths being established for the off-road bikers. They will not be using any of the paths that are currently used for walkers or for equestrians, and that is not going to change. And I think that that's an important point, because many of your concerns, to me, came from the interaction of walkers and bicyclers on the same paths, and that is not in our plan. I also have to disagree with you when you say that Watchung Reservation is not an active park. There are many portions of it that are active. There are portions that are passive, and walking paths and paths for equestrians. Is that passive? Is that active? I don't know. It's just a word. But the purpose of the master plan is to allow all of the county's residents to use our park, not to the exclusion of anyone, not to ruin the paths that are there, but to allow a new use that hasn't been allowed in many, many years. And we're taking this very slowly. The master plan was amended earlier this year, and the bikers come to us and say, well, how come we're not riding there yet? And our answer is because we're being careful. We want to make sure that we address the issues that you've raised, the issues of safety, the issues of not harming the environment. There will be no desecration of Watchung Reservation by the addition of these bikers. We're being very careful about that. They will have limited access to certain trails, and that is all. So I understand your concerns. I do want to make one other point. You've questioned whether we're listening to other groups other than the bicyclers. We are, and we're meeting with the bike people because we want their input to make sure that if we do it right, that there's no point in putting it in if it's not going to serve their purpose. But we're also speaking with hikers and other groups, people who, like you, are opposed, but we're listening to their concerns as well as we listen to you tonight. And we're doing this in a manner that we believe is not harmful to Watchung Reservation, but will allow another use, which, quite frankly, a fairly large portion of the residents in Union County have asked us for. So I believe we're doing this the right way and that it is the right thing to do. But thank you for your comments. I do want to mention that earlier this year, the Freeholders announced a new senior focus initiative for 2016. This is along with the board's Seniors in Motion initiative, in which we're supplying vans for local seniors and disabled transportation. Senior Focus is intended to improve the well-being and quality of life of senior adults within their communities. At this time, the Freeholder Board is offering one-time awards of up to $25,000 for capital improvements or equipment purchases for senior centers that will improve or enhance existing programs and services offered by the municipalities to their senior population. The center must be owned by the municipality and used exclusively or primarily as a senior center. Senior focus funds may be used to rehabilitate the center. Some examples might include ADA improvements to make a building or bathroom more accessible, new or repairs to a roof, plumbing, electrical upgrades, or even site improvements. Earlier this week, the Department of Human Services sent out applications to the various municipalities that are to be completed and returned by the end of this month, and the grants will be awarded this year. I just briefly want to mention one other item. On Friday night, I was happy to join with the Rahway High School football fans, friends, and family to cheer on the Rahway Indians for their first home game at the newly refurbished athletic field at Rahway River Park. I was joined by Vice Chairman Granados, Freeholders Carter, Estrada, and Hudak, and County Manager Al Fiella. We all came out to this event because we know how important this upgrade is to the sports community in Union County, and in particular, the city of Rahway. This newly renovated multi-use field, in addition to football, provides a modern, up-to-date facility for community soccer teams and other sports. It provides a venue for non-athletes as well, as there was a marching band, cheer programs, and other students participating on Friday night. It was a beautiful night, and it was really a pleasure to see the whole community of Rahway come together to enjoy this new public facility, and I look forward to many more events at that field. That's all I have this evening. Thank you all for attending. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.